Hey guys, welcome back to Ripe Stories. Imagine mourning your girlfriend only to be blindsided by her entitled mother who accuses you of owing her $100,000 and then threatening to sue you if you don't give her your house. There was no shared deed, no proof, just pure entitlement. Let's dive right into the story. This one is titled, "My late girlfriend's mom is trying to steal my house." This happened in Florida. So my girlfriend and I were together for 7 years. She passed away 2 years ago. She lived with me for 5 of the 7 years we were together. I bought my home a year into our relationship. I was the only one on the mortgage and now I own the home. I came into full ownership of the home after she passed away. My name is also the only one on all bills and my girlfriend did not pay rent. My girlfriend's mother has contacted me and has informed me that she intends to sue me for equity in the home, claiming that she has proof that my girlfriend invested in the home and that she paid to have renovations done to the house. And by the way, we renovated one of the bathrooms and a bedroom and I paid all costs related to that. She did so via her family attorney, who I looked up and I don't believe works in this type of law. He appears to do wills and estate planning. She is saying I owe my girlfriend's estate $100,000. I have no idea where she could have even come up with this number. For what it is worth, my girlfriend's mother has never liked me and has been particularly vicious towards me, including an accusation that I was responsible for my girlfriend's death. She died of natural causes, by the way. I've not spoken to her since this outburst, which was shortly after my girlfriend's funeral. Her mother was the executor of my girlfriend's estate. My girlfriend's family, including her father and siblings, have always supported me and have denounced her. Basically, I'm wondering here if I need to worry about this and what questions I need to ask when I meet with an attorney on Monday. Just to make it clear, my name is on everything. I cannot even find any receipts or anything that even has her name on it. This coming from an actual attorney does have me spooked a little bit. I received this notice yesterday, so thanks for your time. Edit: by saying come into ownership of the home, I mean to say I paid off the mortgage. Sorry for any confusion. Edit number 2, thank you to everyone who has answered my questions. To clarify some things, no, her name has never been on the deed to the house, and also no, we did not share bank accounts. I paid for everything out of my own accounts. The mortgage, the renovations, just everything. She at no point contributed to these. Comment number 1. If your girlfriend was never on the deed and there's no written agreement or documented financial contribution towards ownership, her estate has no legal claim to any equity in your home. Probate court cannot award assets the deceased did not legally or equitably own. Any claim to equity would have to go through civil court, where the estate would need to prove that she had a financial interest based on something like unjust enrichment or a constructive trust. And that is a high bar without clear supporting evidence. It is possible that this is more of a pressure tactic than a serious legal claim. If a lawsuit is filed, your attorney can advise whether it qualifies as frivolous and whether it would be appropriate to pursue recovery of your legal fees. Based on what you have described, the claim appears very weak. Comment number 2. I'm a lawyer, but not your lawyer and not licensed in your state. People threaten to sue all the time, especially if they think the person they are threatening has money or will freak out and give them something just so they won't sue. People hear words like lawsuit and $100,000 and freak out. Don't do that. If she contacts you again, just let her know that you will respond to anything properly served on you and then stop responding to her. Seriously, block her if for no other reason than for your own mental health. If you're served with a lawsuit, hire a lawyer and go from there. If it were me, I would not spend money on a lawyer just in case. I say that because until you're actually sued and have an actual complaint, a lawyer can only give general and speculative advice on something that may or may not even happen. And yeah guys, I gotta say, in this story I feel so bad for OP. He really did not deserve this, and that mother is absolutely out of control. If you would have been in this situation, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, please don't forget to like the video, because reaching 1000 likes helps me tremendously in regards to fighting back the stupid YouTube algorithm. Anyway, update to the story. So first, I would like to thank everyone who expressed their condolences to me regarding my girlfriend. It's been a very difficult road since she has been gone. Secondly, thank you to everyone who sent me advice and support for navigating this. I just want to tell my experience. So I ended up meeting with 3 different lawyers, 2 free consultations and 1 paid. I went with all of the documentation I had and all 3 pretty much told me the same thing. Unless they had something I didn't, they did not see a case where her mother had any sort of claim to try to get anything from me. We even went over Cash App and Venmo transfers, and while she did send me money through those, the money I sent to my girlfriend was more than what she sent to me. The attorney I paid for the consultation offered to write a legal response to the letter on my behalf at no additional cost, but with the understanding that should she move forward with a lawsuit, that I would have to begin making payments towards their service if I wanted to use them. I agreed to that. They allowed me to read their response and broke down the legal terms for me that I didn't understand before sending it. I agreed and they sent it. This was yesterday morning, and earlier this afternoon I got a phone call from the attorney's office stating that they had received a response. The attorney then got on the phone with me personally to let me know that the response they received from her attorney stated that she would not pursue any further and to consider the matter closed. I know that my experience will not be typical of what may happen with others, but I wanted to make this update and again thank everyone for their support and their advice. Imagine being pregnant with twins and finally moving into your dream home only for your sister to show up drunk screaming that you stole the house from her. Then she tried to sue you for it. Here is what happened. Let's dive right into the next story. Hubs, 31 male, and I, 29 female, are due with baby number 1 and 2. We are only 13 weeks along but are looking into buying a new house. Our property is great, but our house is number 1, not big enough, and number 2, falling apart. This is a big deal to us as we thought it was never gonna happen, as we'd been trying for 5 years. Anyway, my parents have been looking into downsizing for the past few years as they say their house is just too big after my sister and I grew up. This is completely understandable as it is a 5-bedroom home. A few weekends ago though, they sat hubby and me down and asked if we would be interested in their house as they closed on a new one and are preparing to move. This took us by surprise and we told them that we couldn't afford it. They insisted, saying they didn't want payment for it. We went through financials of the house and decided it would be doable. And we happily agreed but insisted they let us pay them whatever we sold our property for. Okay, great. Both our problems were solved and everyone is happy, everyone except my sister, 26 female that is. Ever since we were kids, she swore up and down that the house would belong to her someday and begged my parents to give it to her in their will. She is part of the reason they decided to downsize, and when she found out, she called me to banshee scream at me about stealing her house from her and started demanding that I give her my property because it is not fair that I get to while she rents. I told her the property was being sold and the money was going to our parents. She screamed more before I hung up. I texted her that she needs to stop being an entitled little bitch and that she couldn't afford either property, so she needs to start thinking with her head. Since then, I'm getting non-stop calls and messages calling me a thief and a bitch for doing this to my sister and that I have to give her my property. I'm starting to feel bad because she's always wanted our parents' house and I'm getting it basically for 1/10 of the cost. Edit, their house is worth about 90k, we are hoping to get 10k from our property and are hoping to be able to give them 16k. They are not planning on giving her an equal gift as they give her $500 a month and have bought her several cars throughout the years and have bought all of her furniture brand new for her. And by the way guys, I don't want to offend anyone, but seriously, parents giving their kids gifts like this seems absolutely outrageous from my point of view. Even if my parents could afford all of that, I would not want all of those things for free. How would you feel about that? I'm curious. Maybe that just hits me in the wrong spot. In the end, I don't really like freebies. Anyway, I do not receive the extra money though. They bought me a car at 18, have helped with emergency repairs when we were younger, house and car, and like to buy big ticket items on birthdays and Christmas. They bought us a new oven 2 Christmases ago. Our parents try hard to not play favorites. I don't accept most of the help unless it's 100% needed, because I want to do that to them and I can support myself. Edit number 2, for those asking, we live in the Midwest in a small country town. Cost of living is pretty low though, and we are giving up some amenities such as restaurants, grocery stores, access to jobs, etc. We have a gas station and a dollar store. Not many people want to live here, which keeps prices low. So yeah guys, do you think OP is the a-hole here or not? Let me know in the comments. Comment number 1 said, not the a-hole, your parents are playing favorites, which sort of sucks, but a house costs a lot more beyond the initial/monthly payment, and I suspect they know that she won't be able to maintain or afford it if she's waiting for them to die before she gets it. I would ask your parents to handle it as it is their call ultimately. Comment number 2, not the a-hole, your parents' house, your parents' choice, block your sister. Comment number 3, not the a-hole, your parents are playing favorites, which sort of sucks, but a house costs a lot more beyond the initial/monthly payment, and I suspect they know that she won't be able to maintain or afford it if she's waiting for them to die before she gets it. I would ask your parents to handle it as it is their call ultimately. Update to the story, am I the a-hole for not giving my sister my house after stealing hers? So I wanted to give you an update because things have been absolutely insane since I posted. First off, the twins are doing great, I'm now 28 weeks along and everything is going smoothly. We have found out that we are having a boy and a girl, which has been exciting but also terrifying because damn, 2 babies at once. So after reading all your comments I realized I needed to get my parents involved in shutting down my sister's crazy behavior. The harassment had gotten so bad that I was getting calls and texts at all hours. She even started showing up at my work, which was embarrassing as hell. My boss pulled me aside and asked if I needed help with the stalking situation. Well, that is when I knew things had gone too far. I then called my parents and told them everything. It turns out they had no idea how bad it had gotten because my sister had been playing the victim to them. She told them that I was being mean to her and that she was just sad about losing the house. She conveniently left out the part where she was calling me a thief and demanding I give her my property. My dad was pissed when I showed him the text messages, like really pissed off, and he had some choice words about my sister that I won't repeat here, but let's just say he was not happy. My mom was upset too, but in that disappointed way that honestly feels worse than anger. They called my sister and told her to knock it off immediately or they would involve the police. She tried to play innocent, but my parents were not having it. They told her that if she contacted me again about the house, they would reconsider giving her the monthly support money. That shut her up for about a week. Then she tried a different approach. She got our aunt and uncle involved. Apparently, she told them that our parents were playing favorites and that I was manipulating them into giving me the house. She painted this whole picture where I was the golden child who always got everything, while she got nothing. Our aunt called my mom to mediate the situation and suggested that maybe they should split the house value between us to be fair. My mom was so fed up at that point that she laid out exactly how much money they had given my sister over the years versus what they had given me. It turns out the monthly payments plus all the cars and furniture and other stuff added up to way more than what the house was worth. My aunt got real quiet real fast when she heard those numbers, and she apologized for getting involved and said she didn't know the full story. But my sister was not done. She got a lawyer. I'm not kidding. She actually got a lawyer and tried to claim that she had some kind of legal right to the house because our parents had promised it to her verbally when she was younger. The lawyer basically laughed her out of the office after a consultation. He told her that verbal promises about inheritance from living parents don't mean anything legally and that she had no real case. He also told her that harassment could get her in legal trouble if she kept it up. But that is when things got really bad. So she showed up at our house one night around 10 p.m, screaming and crying. She was drunk and kept yelling about how I ruined her life and stole her future. The neighbors called the police because she was being so loud. When the police showed up, she tried to tell them that I stole her house. The officer was very patient and explained that you cannot steal something that was never yours to begin with, and they told her that she needed to leave and not come back or she would be arrested for trespassing. My husband had enough at that point. He told me we needed to get a restraining order and I agreed. We went to the courthouse the next day and filed the paperwork. We had all the text messages and voice messages saved, plus the police report from when she showed up drunk. The judge granted a temporary restraining order and scheduled a hearing for 2 weeks later. We had to serve her with papers, which was awkward but necessary, and at the hearing my sister showed up with a different lawyer. This one seemed more professional, but he clearly told her the same thing the first one did because she looked defeated before we even started. The judge looked at all the evidence and granted us a restraining order. She cannot contact me or come within 500 feet of me, my husband, or our property. She also cannot contact me through third parties or on social media. My parents were at the hearing and my mom was crying. Not because she felt bad for my sister, but because she was embarrassed and disappointed. She told the judge that they supported the restraining order and that my sister needed to get help. After the hearing, my parents pulled me aside and apologized for not taking it seriously sooner. They said they thought my sister was just being dramatic and would get over it. They didn't realize how bad it had gotten until they saw all the evidence laid out in court. My dad said something that really stuck with me. He said, "Your sister has always been jealous of you, but this is the first time it's turned into something dangerous. We should have addressed this behavior years ago instead of just brushing it off." They also told me that they were cutting off my sister's monthly support money until she got counseling. They said they were not gonna enable her behavior anymore. My sister violated the restraining order twice. So the first time she created a fake Facebook account to message me, I reported it to the police and they went to her apartment to arrest her. She spent a night in jail and had to pay a fine. The second time, she got our cousin to call me and tried to guilt trip me into dropping the restraining order. I recorded the call and reported that too. She got another fine and was told that any further violations would result in serious jail time. Since then, things have been quiet. It's been about 3 months now and I haven't heard from her at all. My parents say she's in therapy and working on her issues, but they don't talk to her much because she's still angry at them for choosing sides. Meanwhile, we moved into my parents' old house when I was 24 weeks pregnant. It's been amazing having so much space. We turned one of the bedrooms into a nursery and another one into a guest room for when my parents visit. The house needed some work, but nothing major. My husband has been fixing things up and it's really starting to feel like home. We sold our old property for a nice sum. We gave that money to my parents along with another bit of money we had saved up. They tried to refuse it, but we insisted. They finally accepted it and said they would put it in a college fund for the twins. The best part is that our parents only live about 20 minutes away now instead of 2 hours. They are so excited about being grandparents and being able to help out when the babies come. My mom has already started knitting blankets and buying baby clothes. My sister hasn't tried to contact me since the second restraining order violation. I heard through my cousin though that she moved to a different city and got a new job. I hope she's getting the help she needs, but honestly, I'm just relieved to be done with the drama. I've learned a lot from this whole experience. I learned that setting boundaries is important even with family members. And yeah guys, by the way, I'm curious, have you ever had to set boundaries with entitled family members? Please let me know in the comments how that went. I also learned that you cannot let people walk all over you just because you share a DNA. And I learned that sometimes you have to get the law involved to protect yourself and your family. Some people might think I was too harsh, but I don't regret getting the restraining order. My sister's behavior was escalating and I was scared of what she might do next. I had to think about my babies and my husband's safety too. I also learned that my parents are not perfect, but they do love me and want what is best for me. They made mistakes in how they handled my sister over the years, but they stepped up when it really mattered. The twins are due in about 10 weeks and I'm feeling good about everything. We have a beautiful house with plenty of room for our growing family. We are close to my parents who are going to be amazing grandparents. And we don't have to deal with my sister's toxic behavior anymore. I know some people will say I should try to repair the relationship with my sister, but honestly, I'm not interested. She showed her true colors and I cannot trust her around my children. Maybe someday in the future if she gets help and changes, but for now, I'm focusing on my own family. To everyone who supported me in the comments, thank you. You helped me realize that I was not being unreasonable and that I deserve to be treated with respect. To everyone who said I should just give her the house to keep peace, I'm glad I did not listen. Some people will never be satisfied no matter what you give them. For now, things are peaceful and I'm just trying to enjoy being pregnant and preparing for motherhood. Thanks again for all the support and advice. And for anyone wondering, we did end up getting security cameras installed around the house just in case. Better safe than sorry. And by the way, the police recommended it after the second restraining order violation, so it gives us peace of mind. That's pretty much the whole update. I know it's long, but there was a lot to cover. You guys are the best. And now we got some comments for the update OP wrote. The first comment said, everyone sucks here, but mostly your sister, obviously. Look, I get that she was being absolutely unhinged and you had to protect yourself, but calling her an entitled bitch in text was not it. That is your sister, even if she is acting like a psycho. Here we go, guys. The classic blood is thicker than water. And your parents suck too for apparently giving her money for years while letting her think she would inherit the house someday. That's mixed signals if we have ever seen them. Your sister sucks the most though, for obvious reasons. Getting a lawyer, showing up drunk, the girl needs serious help. But I cannot help feeling like this whole mess could have been avoided if your family had better communication from the start. Glad it worked out for you, and congrats on the twins though. Just maybe think twice before calling family members bitchs next time, even when they are being bitchs. Comment number 2, you're the a-hole, and I cannot believe everyone is cheering you on. Your sister spent her whole childhood being told that she would get this house, and you just swooped in and took it because you got knocked up. Yeah, she handled it badly, but can you blame her for being upset? Yes, you can. Also, the fact that your parents have been giving her money because she needs it tells me there's probably more to this story. Maybe she cannot afford a house because she is struggling financially and your parents know it. But sure, give the house to the person who doesn't usually accept help and can support themselves. The restraining order was way over the top too. She is grieving the loss of something she thought was hers. And by the way, guys, is it just me, or does that sound like everyone is entitled to getting a house? Where I'm from, that's not how it works. Having a house is like a luxury, a privilege, not something everyone is entitled to, even if it would be nice, that's for sure. Anyway, a few drunk texts and showing up at your house once doesn't make her dangerous, it makes her hurt. Your whole family sounds like they enable each other's drama, your sister for obvious reasons, but you too for how you handled this. Edit, getting downvoted for having empathy, classic Reddit moment. Comment number 3, not the a-hole at all, and honestly, you're a saint for putting up with that behavior as long as you did. Your sister is 26 years old, not 16, the tantrums and harassment were completely out of line. People saying you should have just given her the house are missing the point here. Your parents chose to give it to you, end of story. She's not entitled to your parents' property just because she wanted it really badly as a kid. That's not how the real world works. And getting a restraining order was 100% the right call. She showed up drunk at your house at 10 PM while you're pregnant with twins. That's not just being upset, that is unhinged behavior that could have escalated. You have to protect your family, and your parents sound like they tried their best but probably should have shut this down years ago instead of enabling her. The fact that they've given her way more money over the years than the house is even worth just proves that she was never really getting the short end of the stick. Hope that your sister gets the help she needs, but you don't owe her anything. Enjoy your new house and those babies. And yeah guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. And before we end the video, let's read an outrageous amazing story from r/PettyRevenge, and it is titled Caught the Office Food Thief Accidentally. So I am relatively new at my job and it's not the most organized place. There's a full kitchen/break room with a full fridge and freezer and even an oven. There are no rules about food in the fridge, so in other words, some is there to share and some is private. I just stick to what I've brought and keep it in a small lunch bag to keep it from being confused with something shareable. Another thing, this is in rural NC and I'm originally from NY. I've been here a while, but there's still a cultural difference that matter, so apparently there has been a rash of food thefts and no one spoke about them, at least with me. And it seems that everyone was prepared to suffer in silence. So yesterday I brought my lunch in and it was leftover chori polo and it was spicy. I enjoyed spicy and it was a bit much even for me. I've learned that in this area, people like things much sweeter and much less spicy than I'm used to. And by the way guys, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite sweet drink and sweet dish? I would love to know. I for one love sweet lemon tea. Anyway, so when I entered the break room for my lunch, a bunch of people were standing around and one of the guys, Brent, was getting his blood pressure taken by the HR lady. I was concerned and came over, and he immediately started yelling at me and telling me that I tried to poison him. I was so confused, but after a whole back and forth I realized that Brent had stolen and attempted to eat my lunch and was claiming that I put an inedible amount of spices on it. I had to explain that I like spicy food and I didn't expect him to take my lunch, and now that I'm looking back at it, I'm shocked that he knew it was mine. Like it's in a small floral lunch bag, but I didn't put my name on it. So that is how everyone now knows that Brent is number 1, a food thief, and number 2, cannot handle his spice. That is especially amusing to people because Brent is an older man, over 6 foot, and prides himself on being a macho, and I'm a 5'0" woman and the least intimidating person ever. And yeah guys, that was brilliant. If you wanna see more stories, please don't forget to check out my endless playlist on the left, and I will see you again tomorrow.